Hello and welcome back to X-Plane 11. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and today we are going to be taking a look at this. This is the Zibo mod once again, but this time, last time out I showed you how to install it and do all the extra bits and bobs to it, install liveries, Avitab, what was it, Fmod sounds and some terrain radar and a couple of other bits and bobs. In this episode, or at least this one and the next one and perhaps one after that, but I think 2 episodes, I'm going to be showing you how to start up one of these aircraft, give you a tour of the aircraft, a proper tour of the aircraft, showing you all the bits and bobs as it's in operation. We'll start from cold and dark. We'll have a look in the actual cabin. We'll take a look in the cabin, we'll see what's available, and we're just going to do a general walk around and I'll give you some information about the Boeing 737-800. So make sure you stay tuned for the next, I'd say about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes in this episode, and 20 and 25 minutes in the next one should we need it. So here we are with the 737-800 in the Delta Airlines livery, as you can see. Interesting, it's not blue underneath. Oh no, it is blue. Is it blue underneath? Yeah, it's blue for part of it. I thought the blue on Delta extends further back. Oh well, no big. No big deal. So this is the 737-800 NG, otherwise known as the NG series. This is the 3rd generation of the 737. First flight was in February 1997. There are 4 variants of this aircraft as far as I know, and that is the 600, the 700, the 800, which is what we've got here, and the 900. Now, I think the 700 has an extended range variant, so that's the ER. They've got the 700C as well, so there's a few other variants of that. But this one is a replacement for the 737-400, and also I think it was made to replace the McDonnell Douglas MD-80s, MD-80 and MD-90s when Boeing joined up with them or merged with them. And also, in terms of airlines, this replaced the 727. So this replaced 727, so they got the 737-800, replacing the 727-200. I think this aircraft has 162 seats on 2-class layouts, so with first class and economy. We'll have a look what it is in here, or 189 seats in a 1-class layout. By the way, got a bit of a blocked nose, so you'll have to excuse... yeah, you'll have to excuse me with the blocked nose. Anyway, more about its specifications. Of course, it's a 2-crew flight deck, or 2-crew cockpit. The actual length of the aircraft, the 800 itself, is 129 feet 6 inches. So from front to back. Or if you want that in meters, that is 39.5 meters, give or take. A little bit. In terms of its height, it's 41 feet high, 41 foot 2 inches, or 12.5 meters. So you've gone from, what is it, 129 feet 6 inches to 41 feet. So you can see clearly that shape right there. And then we do have the wingspan itself, which is with the winglets, which is what we've got here. We've got the winglets right here. It's 112 feet 7 inches, which is 34.32 meters. With the winglets, that gives us a total area in total. Yeah, in total. So if we just go up, that gives us a total wing area. That's actually quite a nice view, isn't it? That gives us a total wing area, as I said, of 124.6 meters square, 1,341-ish square feet, with a sweep back of 25 degrees. So you can see that this wing is swept 25 degrees back. You can just see that right there. Fantastic. The fuselage itself has a width of 12 foot 4 inches, with the cabin being 11 foot 7 wide, and the cabin height being about 2.2 meters, so almost as high as a normal room in the United Kingdom. I think our rooms are what's our rooms, 8 foot, which is 2.38 meters. So this one is 2.2, so it's slightly smaller, but not too bad. Let's go inside. You guys are probably sick of seeing the outside already. The operating empty weight of the 737-800. Now, I'm going to have to pull this up now, as I don't know these off the top of my head, is 91,300 pounds or 41,413 kilos. The maximum landing weight is actually surprisingly not too bad. Having a look at it, maximum landing weight is 146,300 pounds, 66,361 kilograms, and the minimum takeoff weight is maximum takeoff weight is the 174,200 pounds or 79,016 kilograms. This aircraft has the same fuel capacity as all the other aircraft in this generation, so that's the 6, 7 and the 8, except the 900. The 900 has a different tank because it is an ER, but the actual capacity is 26,022 litres or 6,875 US gallons, which I don't know the difference between US gallons and standard imperial gallons. I've never used US gallons. I think that's probably most of its information that you need. It does need a 7,500 foot runway, or 2,300 meters, and it does have a cruise speed of Mach 0.789, which is 455 knots, or 842 kilometers per hour, and a range of 2,935 nautical miles. The engines themselves, it has two of them, of course. They are the CFM 567B 24 or 26 or 27. I'm not sure which is on this particular one, but it does give you a thrust range between 24,000 and 27,000 pound-feet of thrust, or that in kilonewtons is 110 to 120 kilonewtons. Aside from that, the only other thing that's quite interesting about this is the ground clearance. The engine ground clearance is 19 inches or 48 centimeters. Now that's actually always interesting to me, because if we go outside quickly one more time and I zoom in, you'll notice that this aircraft, if I can get a good view of it, come on, it's got to be a good view. I'll do it like this. Let's do this. There we go. That's a much better view. You'll notice that this aircraft has a very oddly shaped engine. And for those people who know about aircraft, you'll know that this oddly shaped engine is, for one of the primary reasons for this oddly shaped engine is ground clearance. If it was round, it would be far, far closer to the ground, and it would be much, much harder to actually maneuver this aircraft and actually get this aircraft up to size anyway, or the correct size. Anyway, going back inside, like so, let's have a look around. It's a little bit dark. Let's see. With it being dark, I think I'm going to ask for some ground services. Get some ground power enabled. No, please. No, other way. Other way, please. Okay. And see if this helps us out. Does not do much. That's unfortunate. Also, I'm not sure why ground power doesn't seem to be working. Why is ground power not working here? Not too sure. Not too sure at all. Anyway, having a look inside the aircraft. So we've got the AVI tab. We're going to ignore this tablet. We're just going to have a look around for all the different areas. This is our MCP. So over here we can set all our autopilot information. Course, auto throttle, flight directors there. In fact, tell you what, let me move along so you guys can see it. There you go. A lot easier for you guys to see. Course, auto throttle, flight director, N1 speed holds for that there. We've got that dial will change that. Speed intervention, VNav, LNav. I'll show you what all these are when we're actually flying. VOR localizer, approach hold, heading select, that's our heading mode. That allows us to change between the modes. There you go. So that's bank angle, I think. So that allows us to change bank angle. Level change, altitude hold, that's obviously our altitude knob. Altitude intervention, vertical speed, that's our vertical speed control. All our command for the autopilot, and another course one, secondary flight director, disengage for the autopilot. Then over here and on this side, we're going to show. I'll just show you this side. Let's zoom in a little bit. We've got our radio altimeter, or whether we want to put our minimums in radio or barometric, and then we can reset it there. Obviously, I'll show you how that works when we go along. We've got our pressure, so our actual barometer here. We can change it from inches of mercury to hectopascals, and then we can switch to standard by pressing that button. VORs are there for VORs and ADF. We've got traffic and our map zoom in, I think that's in nautical miles. We've got the different modes for this, so we can add center. I think that centers it back on the aircraft when we're not back on the aircraft, but we can go to approach mode, VOR mode, map mode, which is normal, or plan mode when we're planning things. I'll probably, when I'm flying this, mostly I would use plan at the start, then map, and then maybe approach at the end. Weather radar, station, waypoints, I'm not sure what that one is, data, position, and terrain. These lights probably don't work because nothing's on. Yeah, nothing's on. So this is our autopilot reset or disengage, auto throttle disengage, FMC problem. Stabilizer out of trim. Something about speed brakes being armed, I think. Cabin altitude and takeoff configuration being incorrect. This just allows us to control these screens. That's our warning for our fire and master caution. That there is our clock. Nose wheel steering can be controlled there. There's our tiller. Obviously the yoke is right there, but I'll get rid of it so you guys can see what's around. That's our lighting controls for this side and the panels. This is our CDU, Keyboard Cursor Display Unit, or CCDU, however we want to call it. That's where we put all our information into the FMC, the Flight Management Computer, which obviously runs behind all of this. There's a second CDU for the co-pilot. That's all covered there. Rudder pedal adjustment, of course, for the rudder pedals. We've got our trim controls here. Stabilizer trim there. Stab trim. Speed brake controls there, from armed or off to armed, to flight detent, which is the highest you want in flight, to fully deployed. We've got a parking brake here, which is currently on, like so. Auto throttle. Toga button just there, I believe. Reversers, flap controls all the way up to 40. If we move back along here, we've got our fire controls over here, like that, and that's our fire testing as well, whichever way it goes. Down here we have all our radios. So this is all our radios. We've got our comm radios there, 1 and 2. We've got our navigation radios, 1 and 2. ADF radios, or ADF their frequencies, I suppose they are radios. A few of these don't seem to work at the moment. We should be able to switch between these. These just allow us to switch between various frequencies on whatever they are. Floodlight, panel light. Some more trim controls over here for the rudder and ailerons. Unlocking and locking the flight deck door. Again, back with some stabilizer trim. Where's our transponder? There it is, right in front of us. Transponder right in front of us. And as you can see, the different modes. And that's pretty much everything down here. Now, I guess we go up to this area. Up here, we've got our lights for the aircraft. All the landing lights, retracts, and the fixed lights. Turn off lights, taxi lights, APU controls, that's the auxiliary power unit. Engine start for both our engines, so these are the engine ignition. As you can see, ignition left, ignition right, and the different modes. So you've got automatic, continuous flight, or ground. Same for that. Logo lights, position, strobe and steady, and normal lights there. Anti-collision lights, otherwise known as beacon lights. Wing lights, wheel well lights. Over here, this is all our fuel. All of this is our fuel indicators and gauges. Crossfeed on or off. Fuel pumps for the center tanks, fuel pumps for the wing tanks right there, fuel temperature, and then that will show if the crossbleed valves are open, I believe. Moving across, I'm going to move across like this, even though it's not really the way I normally do it. Exhaust gas temperature right there when you're switching on the APU, of course. That's very, very important. I don't know why ground power won't connect. I must have done something wrong. Probably haven't put the battery on, that's why. There you go. Well done, me. Okay, everything can now come to life. You'll see a whole bunch of stuff come to life right there. I knew I did something wrong immediately. There we go. So, ground power right there, that's our power. This is all where our power comes from, so you can see whether it comes from the APU or whether it comes from the engines right there. This is to chime for, well, that's just a chime, that's to fasten seatbelts, calling for attention, and then ground call. Wipers right there, they do work. Across here, this is what? I'm not sure. Differential pressure? Differential pressure for something. And then that's the cabin climb. I guess that's our vertical speed indicator? Perhaps? Then we've got a cutout for that. That there is pressure. This is all pressurization systems all the way up here. You can see recirc fans, packs, APU bleeds. And then we've got temperatures for various parts of the cabin. So passenger, forward, aft, the duct pressures, all that. Anti-ice right there. Hydraulic pumps and electrical pumps right here. Window heat, probe heat, all of that is there. Circuit breaker lights, these are just the lights. Again, lavatory, warning if there's smoke in the lavatory. Then we've got equipment cooling right there. We've got our electrical power right here, as well as, I suppose, an ammeter and a voltmeter right here, so we can switch over. So you can see on ground power, we've got 114 volts right now for us. Yaw damper over here, flight control, standby hydraulics, a few buttons there. Obviously, we'll switch the yaw dampener on at one point, so that's what we do. And then at the top here, dome light, service interphone, switch that on. Switch that on. This is some information about our flaps. This is how we align our IRSs. So this is all about the IRS display, which I think, can I take it into test right now to show you guys? I've done this before, I think. Come on. It won't test it right now. Never mind. And then we've just got a few circuit breakers up here, which actually are pretty much the same as those ones over there. And I think, roughly, these are all circuit breakers, roughly that's everything on this aircraft. I've just realized how much time that has taken me. So in the next video, I guess I will show you guys how to start this aircraft. So I've shown you where everything is. I guess I'll show you next how to start it. Now, I'm not a 737 pilot. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just switch this all off. I'm not a 737 pilot, but I'll do my best to... That's actually very well done. To show you guys how to start this aircraft. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on X-Plane 11, leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. Also, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ecgadget and on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time in X-Plane 11, where I will show you how to start up this aircraft.